Good day, everybody. Ooh, this is going to be a long one here. Sorry. Um, there's a lot going on with Sebastian Rogers and the story, and sorry about that. There is, there's just a plethora of things that have been happening that we need to just put our hats on and go from the beginning. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a deep dive on the facts versus the misconstrued facts. And there's a lot of them. And it makes a difference in trying to figure out what's been going on. And there's been some big changes that include Seth and the stepfather, Chris. So y'all sit down, grab some popcorn, and remember this disclaimer up here. This is for, teaching and fair use, uh, for criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, whatever. Um, but over here, we don't try to just throw out wild accusations. We try our best to follow the true stuff that is put out about him. So let's get started. We all know who this good looking guy is. And this is who, sorry, everything is about. So, Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home in Tennessee with still no sign of this guy. Hold on one second. I just got a cough and I don't want to do it on here. So hold on. Sorry about that. As I said, Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home in Tennessee, and there's still no sign of this young guy. The autistic teenager was last seen by his mother, and it's been reported, but no proof, and his stepfather when he went to bed on the night of the 25th of February. But when his mother went to wake him up for school the next day, he was gone. Puff the magic dragon. Now, Sebastian is believed to have wandered off in the middle of the night with a flashlight, barefooted and alone. The case sparked a major search in Sumner County that stretched thousands of miles and lasted more than a week before officials said they were scaling back the ground search to focus more on the investigative side. And so a lot of people don't know exactly what has happened in this case to date. So, for those that missed every little step of the way, and we're gonna cover that because a lot of us only hear what people say on YouTube, and they don't really know the chronological order. So on Monday, 26th of February, there was an endangered child alert issued. An endangered child alert was issued at approximately 11:17 a.m. by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, further known as TBI, on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Department. In the alert, investigators said Sebastian was last seen early that day near Stafford County in Hendersonville, adding that he was wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. So, with that said, let's check this out a whole second. Let me get this off of here. Hold on one second.
awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Negative. This is all dry, hard packed. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints? My shoes, the Max went straight into the pond. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Awful muddy.
Now, that was the first 911 call that went out, but there's more 911 chatter that went about, so let's check this out as well.
Do we have an estimated time of start for the search process?
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male is not in the bed. We have white male, 3 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
10-4, remember?
47. I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a phone. Great. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire Call.
It is.
Central to 47-180, and 12. Juvenile left his phone at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
I'm in the area. Check long hauls out, just seeing that.
You can take me off the assist fire. I'll be en route to the missing juvenile.
Next pick track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach. That's important behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Negative. This is all dry, hard packed. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints? My shoes, the Max went straight into the pond. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water. Yeah, do you see any prints around it? There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt, headed straight this way on the track that he was running. 1247, what kind of shoe does he wear? Size 10. To any units they're going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please. Do we have an estimated time?
Now, the thing that interested me the most about that second 911 call was that they said that there were other feet prints around the retaining pond, and they didn't say that they were barefoot or that they had shoes on. And I kind of took it as they weren't the same feet that they were saying his, or else they would have said they had other barefoot prints around it. But they did say there were other footprints, but they didn't say bare feet. So there's one thing that sticks out to me. They say, yes, they see barefoot in the yard and back, not in back, in the yard, and feet print leading to barefoot feet leading to the retaining pond. And then at the retaining pond, there are feet print, barefoot, and other footprints. And they even say going into the retaining pond. So that's really important on that part. Uh, most of the stuff that people are missing in all of these details in every report is the tiny little details that add up to be something. We've already covered Naruto, and that is a big issue with Sebastian. Very, very, very big clue. And another clue that we, went into was that, he had internet capabilities on his Switch. Um, so that's where we are on technology. Now, let's cover some of this. They talk about the house and cameras and all this. And this right here that I'm going over has to do with the lights that everybody keeps talking about, the lights in the backyard. Where they're saying, here's this, and it's the trash can, the trash truck, and you know, over here is lights, and here are two flashlights, and this. So let's just break this down a little bit. First of all, there is no light over the back door to be a stable light to shine in the picture. So if that light is a stable light, it's not above the door. And there's not a stable light over to, if you're facing a computer, that would be to your left. There is no stable light on that end of the house. And I know you can't see it on here, but we will get to it. Trust me. So, on to another is that here we see from here, this end, there is a stable light, floodlight per se, right here, past this drainage. Again, none in the middle and none on the other side. So let's keep up with that and we'll come back. So in Sumner County EMA, the Emergency Management Agency Director Ken Wider said over 200 people had been dispatched to search for the missing teenager, including multiple K9 teams, mounted units, helicopter crews, and drones. And the search team covered nearly 5-mile radius in every direction. And I can't recall off the top of my head when the last search like this was, but Chief Deputy Eric Craddock with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office said to News 2, obviously this one is exponentially more important, being as a child who does have autism. And then on Thursday, February 27th, the Amber Alert goes out. And that was TBI announced the Endangered Child Alert, and it had been elevated to the Amber Alert based on the additional investigative information. An Amber Alert is issued when there is a reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred and the child is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death, according to the Department of Justice. Now, meanwhile, dozens of agencies continued searching for Sebastian, and began employing unique tactics such as blasting his favorite song, Eye of the Tiger, while searching in different areas to try to call him out. Um, and that was said by the Sumner, Sheriff's Office. And at the press conference later that day, authorities urged local residents to check their surveillance cameras and report any possible information that could helped lead to Sebastian. Now, on Thursday, February 29th, the pond was drained, but there was nothing found. As the search entered the fourth day, officials revealed that they had received several tips amid calls for people to check their surveillance cameras, but none were confirmed sightings of Sebastian. Saturday, the 2nd of March, reward issued for information. The sheriff's office told News 2 that an anonymous group of business owners in the Nashville area had pledged a minimum cash reward of $3,000 for information that may lead to the finding of Sebastian. And I'm sorry, but that is like a really weak reward compared to others, and that just seems a little low for me. But the reward was raised to $3,500 the following day. Still a really weak reward. And on Monday, March 4th, the search scaled back, and the parents finally spoke. After a week of searching, authorities announced that they were calling back or scaling back the ground search for Sebastian and transitioning to an investigation. And they said, this does not diminish our commitment to finding Sebastian, Mr. Craddock said during the press conference. It's simply us transitioning from ground search to an investigative side. Now, that should have told everybody everything, because they keep going like, when are they going to make this an investigation into something foul? And they did. They haven't pointed it at a person, and this is March 4th now. They haven't said, oh, we're making it into an investigative side of anybody, but an investigation all over. He had added also that there were no leads, no details to indicate that Sebastian was not alive. And that's very important. On the same day, Sebastian's mother spoke to the media for the first time about their child's disappearance. And she just said, I just want my baby to be okay. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. And Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, said the family had been on one consistent roller coaster ride of helplessness and hopelessness since Sebastian vanished. Now, the couple have received backlash for not speaking out earlier, to which they say they shouldn't have not be judged because no one knows what they're going through. And you know, and I wouldn't wish this. And they said you don't know, and I don't wish you to ever know. They said just be kind to people. It's just that simple. Now, on Thursday, 7th of March, the landfill in Kentucky was searched. So, apparently their trash pickup along their way is split into two different landfills. And the investigators on March 7th announced that the search had been moved to a landfill in White Plains, Kentucky, where trash was taken from Sebastian's neighborhood. But unfortunately, the officials called the search of the landfill a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions, and said there was no specific information indicating evidence related to the search for Sebastian was there. So that's a little weird, I know you want to count it out, but that just is a little weird. You have no evidence to go there, yet you go there. Okay, the search concluded that evening with authorities later stating that it did not provide any additional clues as to what happened to Sebastian. Now, when the little baby that was put in the trash can with Leilani, her little kid, you know, they were out there forever, um, picking it apart and stuff. So, did they search it long enough to know that? I don't know. Well, while we had hope for a different outcome, our commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. So, Sumner County Sheriff Sonny Weatherford said, "We will continue to explore all available avenues and resources to bring closure to this case and to provide answers to Sebastian's family and loved ones." So now we've reached Sunday, March 10th. Stepfather reveals fear for Sebastian. Yeah, I said that right. Stepfather reveals fear for Sebastian. In an interview with WTVF, Sebastian's father, Steph Rogers, revealed his fears for his stepson. But it's not his stepson, it's his son. I don't know, typo on my part, my bad. Revealed, saying that he was not one to wander off. Seth said that's his biological father, revealed his fears for his son, saying that he was not one to wander off, and due to an experience as a young boy, would never go far without his shoes. He decided he wanted to step into a mold of what he thought was dirt, and it was fire ants. Since then, he doesn't like to get his feet um, in dirt. He likes to have his shoes and his socks on, according to, and this was in Sebastian's childhood experience with that. So, in order for him to do something that's out of the normal, something wouldn't have to happen that he felt like he couldn't deal with it anymore. During the interview, he also revealed that a search dog had traced Sebastian's scent to a construction site, but it turned out to be a false alarm. One dog tracked him to a construction area over there and it just disappeared. And it's confusing. There are missing pieces to the puzzle, and I'm having difficulty solving this, he said. Mr. Rogers said that it makes absolutely no sense that there's been no trace of him. I'm hoping he's still alive, but that is my main hope right now. So on Thursday, March 14th, video shows activity outside the family home. And home security video obtained by WTVF, remember that, showed two specks of light outside the family home in the Hendersonville neighborhood around 3:10 a.m. in the morning, in the middle of the night, when the teenager went missing. Sumner County Sheriff Chief Deputy Eric Craddock said the news outlet that there are several clips that have come in that investigators are reviewing for more clues. One clip shows a pitch black Stafford Court neighborhood with two lights that appear to be people with flashlights moving toward each other before moving off the screen. Now, that's what they say. So, with that said, let's talk about it. So now, we have all kind of people talking about the trash truck, and the two bright lights are the trash truck. And so basically, my drawing here is what people are just hellbound to believe this is what they're seeing, that the garbage truck lights of any kind would only shine through this part due to the house width. So it would be where my little green splash things is. Any lights from that truck would be straight past the house. It would not be able to curve around the corner to be in where it's labeled rear lights past out the back door. Now, I'm just debunking that right there all around. There's no way a trash truck could be in front of their house picking up trash and the lights showing in that video. It's an impossibility. Just right here shows the lights are on the truck picking up their trash is nowhere, could come around that corner and you can see it. But is there an explanation? Well, yes, there is. Right here, you have the trash truck up on the next hill going to turn around, and you have a surveillance house down here on the left at the bottom, and you have fixed lights across on the right, and you have Sebastian's house where the red line starts. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of light, 4 points to come from. And it's really all about reflection for that event to happen. And even as it has been said, and we'll go into this more. Let's just get through this first part. So don't be too confused that, you think we're not going to cover this, because we are. It's even been said that one of the white lights is one of the guys, you know, at the news station or wherever is filming with his cell phone the video, and that's why the light is jumping around, because he's holding his phone filming it. So let's just remember that. So the United Cajun Navy announced a briefing in Nashville, and this was on Saturday, the 23rd of March. The volunteer-run organization assisted with natural disaster recovery and missing person searches said it would be sending a team along with a K9 unit to find Sebastian. Yeah, United Cajun Navy is a joke. It's all about getting donations. I've done a whole thing on them. If you go to my main page at Nasir, and you will see a video done on them called the United Cajun Navy Rumors and Lies. So on March 25th, the parents speak out in interviews again. In two separate interviews on Monday, Sebastian's parents answered questions about the search for him, with his mother saying she had cried on and off for a month. Katie Proudfoot and her husband and Sebastian's stepfather, Chris. Oh my God. All my fault. Katie Proudfoot and her husband, which would be the stepfather to Sebastian, and Chris Proudfoot appeared on Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, in which the host grilled them to death about the night the teenager vanished. Let me get some drink here. Meanwhile, Seth Rogers appeared on News Nation. He also spoke of communication issues between himself and the Proudfoots. So, Ms. Proudfoot said she's convinced someone must have her son, as there had been no trace so far to find him. But now, pretty much ever since that part, it just bounces back and forth, bounces, and a lot of rumor, a lot of everything. But let's get back to this. Okay, there's no lights up here, and that's what we're trying to prove. A lot of stuff that's been said that is not true. Let's get back to the facts. Here shows the three lights. I mean, the three places. There is a floodlight right above my little yellow warning trigger. There's no lights in the middle, which would have to be there to shine, like in the black video. There would have to be two floodlights right there, and there isn't none, and there isn't on the other corner either. In fact, if you look right here on this video right here, these pictures are not even the Proudfoot's home. All of these pictures that is up right now is the previous homeowner pics, and there's their Lintons, and there is their picture on the black wall, on the back wall. So all these pictures that they show, and people are trying to figure out, where the lights are and this and that, and um, how it all went. It's not even. It's their house that they bought, yes, but we have no idea how it's set up now. We have no idea how the backyard looks. We have no idea what things they've added to it. We have zero knowledge, zero, about how the house looks at all. We don't know if they have cameras. We don't know if they have multiple floodlights. We don't know anything about the house. And yet people are using pictures from the past to try to figure this out. And that's what people have done. Try to use pictures, but I guess they just didn't even investigate the fact that these are, it's the house, yes, but it may not be how they have it. These are just old pictures from the old family. Okay, so here we go. This again is the pictures that I have made with, we put the garbage truck why everybody swears it's right here, and that it can magically turn its lights around to the center of the back of the house. And, well, here it is. This is the big curse of this whole thing. How can they see? You can see the garbage truck lights. Not from here, you cannot. The lights, if the garbage truck was right here going, if the lights would go straight on the side of the truck, and ain't no garbage truck got that many bright lights on the side anyway. And then it would have to go over and then continue over to the center of the house for you to be able to see that. So that is not true either. Yet this is the biggest show right here. This is not true. No matter what anybody says, no matter how they twist and turn it, this is not true about the weird lights in the black with subject 1, subject 2. This is not a true picture or layout of the lights. Now, I found this. This says that on February 20, I think it's this. Oh Lord, I can't see it on the screen because. Can you see that on the screen? Is it 25th or 26th? 26th. Thank you. My little live thing is in front of us. February 25th, 26th, 2024 shows you a Google Earth thing that shows his truck and her van right there. The problem is Google Earth doesn't even go past 2022. So there's a lot of confusion about that as well. There are people saying that this is his truck in the driveway prior to that. It is we don't have film from Google Earth from 2022 forward on their house. There isn't. You can go look it up yourself. Google Earth, try to do their house from past 2022. You're not going to find any. This right here, like I said, there's a way to hear every single little detail on this, and you will hear every little centimeter about this, and this makes the most sense. So just stick around. Now, let's talk about the past. Supposedly, this red line is the scent dog followed. The scent dog followed this red line all the way to the pond, and at the retention pond, maybe he walked through it or maybe he stood in it, but after that he could have gone any one of these white lines somewhere else, because the scent just dies inside the pond, and that is just bizarre. Except one of my theories. Theory. And everyone thinks I'm crazy too for saying this theory, is that maybe, perhaps, one of my theories is hard to believe, that someone helped somebody else pick up the grate in the bottom of the retention pond, and Mr. Sebastian went down that drain, and they closed the retention and they closed it up and they just let the grate down. And that, to me, is my only logical explanation to why he disappeared right there. Because the only thing I can come up with that he disappeared right there is the drain in the bottom of the pond. Two men could pick up that grate on top. We saw two people pick it up whenever they were searching the pond because they emptied it. And so that's another thing. When the people picked it up to empty the pond, if they had picked the thing up and, like, hypothetically, allegedly, let's say that some in-laws, so that would be two people added. So two people allegedly open up the drain. One person put someone down the drain, let the drain go, everybody go back to their whatever. He would go down the drain with water, and nobody would see it at all. You wouldn't be able to see him. But yet, when they opened that up the next time to drain the pond, he would go further down into the drain. Yes, he is small enough to go down that drain itself. The drain is about the size of cinder blocks. If you look at the center of them, he is small enough to just float right on through there. And that is my speculative, my own theory of where he went, because he just disappears. He doesn't come out according to the scent, and he doesn't go anywhere. He just goes right there. And it took me a long time to think and believe that that was possible. But if I think two strong men could do it, I saw one strong man do it when the FBI, with the fire department and them do it. So it is possible. So the next thing that happens is the biological of Sebastian hired 2 private investigators to look into his son's disappearance. And that would be, well, so now that is what this is right here, the red line. And this is where the dog followed. And this is the blue thing is the pond, and the white lines is where possibly he could have went. But I'm saying he stayed within the blue lines. So now the next thing we have is Justice Warrior Investigations. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. And this would be Heather Cohen's law office that Seth has hired. Here's her logo. She looks like her logo. That's for sure. Previously, this was put out just as I thought I would share this with the public. I put it in a records request for the missing persons report the day before yesterday on Sebastian Rogers' case, and this was the response. Good afternoon. This is an open criminal investigation. We're unable to fulfill your request. I apologize. Now, so let's see what else happened on that page. So she wrote a PSA. Seth Rogers is beyond grateful to everyone who has invested their time and energy and money into helping him find his son. I understand that his choice of words may not have been the best when he said, and everyone else could F off. As a representative of Seth, I would like to remind everyone that this is a man who has had very little sleep in the past 20, I can't read how many days I covered it up. And I would like to clarify, means anyone who is not willing to get in the hashtag Team Sebastian train and to set aside the difference. The bottom line is that if we all love Sebastian and want him home, we're all going to have to join forces. We are coming together. As I've said, I apologize to anyone who is offended by his choice of words, but please try to look past and see it for what it is, a man who's trying to stay strong and to find his son on very little sleep. Thank you and God bless you. Respectfully, Heather. Now, so what is she talking about, right? Okay, well, here's what she's talking about. This is Chris Proudfoot's all up in the face of Seth at this last vigil they had. And I personally think it's not a good scene. He looks very in his face. You wouldn't be that close to me, I can guarantee you that much. He is all up in his grill. I heard there was a lot of yelling from Chris. There was a lot of from Chris to Seth. Now, up until this point, Seth has been out there looking, has a lawyer out there doing her thing, has the FBI. Sorry. A lot of things. They've never, like been on the same side. So right here, Chris Proudfoot looks like he is bullying Seth. And that's exactly what it looks like. So after this picture, Seth goes to the the verdict, but he doesn't really say anything. I keep saying Virgil. He doesn't really say anything there. He's just like stands around and then he goes. He doesn't even stay for the whole thing, which is really weird because he usually stays for. Well, the last time he stayed for everything, and so this confrontation, whatever it was, is a big thing that happened that changed Seth's mode of action completely. He didn't stay for the same vert. It just sounds funny to me, y'all. Virgil. Anyway, you know what I mean. If I'm not saying it right, um, this bully tactic before it happened or before it was on, Seth didn't stay long. Next thing you know, Seth comes out saying they're gonna work together. Um, So to me, this does not look like a hey man, let's not be on opposite sides. Let's work together to find Sebastian. That is not what this looks like at all. No, no, no. So I read this to you guys, and then we had somebody with a response. Ashley Simmons says the one thing I don't like about it is my belief was that Seth was hiring the private investigator because the police wasn't telling him what he wanted to know. Y'all hear all that tapping? That's my little buddy's feet. And he wanted further information done on Katie and Chris. Now he hires one, and then Chris reaches out to Seth and wants to make up, obviously, to stay in the loop and find out what is or isn't being found out and possibly throw off leads. But still, the main thing is about the whole point was Seth tried to. I covered up my own word, y'all. To Sebastian and his main people that were following him. Did they ever get checked into, or was that a lie from Seth? Again, if Katie and Chris were so concerned about what Heather is saying, why didn't they hire one themselves? I think Heather needs to go back, and this is his investigator, and watch all these interviews and YouTube call ins, even the ones with Seth, before she goes do anything else and get caught up on all the lies that have been told by all three parents. So she can take note, and when they start feeding them to her, this with him going and this little showdown right here that changed Seth and his actions. This does not look like a friendly conversation, and the actions of Seth after that are a result of this action right here. So keep that on your mind for what happens next. Now, I told you we were going to talk about this right here, this layout on the trash truck, the different cameras that are right here, and the whole debunking of this. So the whole debunking of this is this. And this man right here debunked the entire light. So to see the entire light debunk, you need to go to Gary Hughes, because nobody can explain it better than he did. I can't either. So I'm sending you to another creator's site to look at his new information. Sebastian Rogers Debunk Information is the name of his video. I learned a lot from it. And instead of doing what other creators would do, would be to try to recreate his information and claim it as their own. I'm not going to do that. I don't do that, and I would not do that. He's put a lot of information into this video, and I watched it myself, and it is the truth. And once the truth is out there, the truth is out there, and you can't go get it and play with it and make it around and this and that and try to create it and make it your own. So I'm sending all of you to Gary Hughes to a live he did called New Information, Sebastian Rogers Debunk Information. And this one video, it's not long, but it describes from point A to point Z on the lights behind, the dark video with the 3 sets of lights. He just debunks it altogether. So go there and watch that video. I thank you for your time, and have a great day. Sunday, take a load off. Till next time, thank you.